All right. Hello, everyone. I know that I have the camera turned in a different direction tonight, but we were talking about last night when uh, we were talking about doing. I don't know if no, you can't see me in the reflection in the window. So I'm in my other craft room. This is my paper crafting room, but also the room where I do my slow stitching. So we were talking about this last night about doing slow stitching. There we go. Okay, there we go. Hopefully when you log online, I'll be able to see your comments. Just gonna give it a few minutes, see if some folks join us or join me. Oh goodness, I dropped something. There we go. I'm gonna boot up my iPad too. I know it's early and people are probably eating dinner and all that kind of good stuff. I was just going to give it a few minutes and trying to find how to access. Hi, everyone. Hello, how are you? Okay, sorry, I'm running just a little bit late. And Mr. Grayson has now joined us, and you can see his back paws right there. I was hoping that I could see the comments. What are you doing, buddy? Sorry, that's Grayson. That's Grayson. He has the king has arrived. So we were talking last night on our live about doing a slow stitching or a mindfulness Wednesday. And a couple of you guys sounded kind of interested in doing that. And sorry, Grayson's rubbing on the camera. That's what all that is. He's being needy. So anyway, we had talked about doing a live slow stitch or mindfulness Wednesday, and I have a couple of different. Don't even think about it, buddy. I have a couple of different ideas, and I wanted to show y'all an example of like a fabric journal. This right here is an example of a fabric journal. This is just a really, really simple example. I just used fabrics to make this little house, and I added the butterfly, and the heart has French knots around it. I have some beading along through here, some lace off of a dress. This is lace from a dress, and this is a button. And then you just open it up. And on the inside, it's just, a hummingbird, which is a stamped image that I colored with marker. It is colored with some marker. I don't know if you can see that. And with just some fabric scraps. And then I did some stitching around the rows there and added lace, trims, some yo-yos or Suffolk puffs. There we go. I'll spit that out in a minute. And I don't know if I can see you guys' comments. I don't know if I can see them. I'm trying to. Okay, if you're commenting, I don't know how I can't see them. I don't know. So I'm new to this Facebook Live thing. And on this page, it's just some trim that I bought at Hobby Lobby when they do their sale with some buttons, some more Suffolk puffs, some lace trim. And then on the back of it, it's just some simple stitching on the back of it. This is called Coantha stitching. I don't know that I'm pronouncing that correctly. But that's an example of a little fabric journal. This is a little more extravagant fabric journal. So let me set this one off to the side and let's open it up. Let me open the tie. So this is fabric journal that I created by doing. Hey, Valerie, how are you? How's the weather in Louisiana? It's cold up here in Arkansas. So yes, I can see the comments. All right. And this is just some antique trim. Like I said, I've been collecting for years. the actual base for this journal is a old sheet. It's an old sheet. Can't tell you where I got the sheet, but it had this beautiful trim down here on the side. And I did do some machine stitching. This is machine stitched with variegated thread. I machine stitched this on and then hand stitched these on. Or did I machine stitch? They may be glued, but no, I think I hand stitched them. I believe I hand stitched these on. And then the center of it is some fleece. It's just some fleece. You can use quilt batting. I use a lot of quilt batting because I have a lot of scraps left over. So on the inside, this is actually a book of stitchery that I did with Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, and I used it as a journal. So I did turn it into a journal, sewed my page. I did my pages first, and then I sewed them into my journal. And like I said, this is just bits and scraps. This come off of a dress somewhere. And just bits and pieces. It's never meant to be washed. And then you have some bling bling right there, as my mom likes to call it. Let me put it like this. And then she taught us how to do stitches. So here are my stitches that I learned by doing her stitch along that we did in this. And then here's some more of the stitches that I learned doing that particular stitch along with some trim just down the side of the page. And there's new and old in here. This is an old like flour sack, feed sack kind of material that I picked up at a flea market around here. And here's some more of the stitches. I was just playing around. I love using yarns. You can use yarns. You can use DMC floss. And then this right here is an image that I printed on my printer and added it to this page. And then I stamped, let me fold it back like that. And then I stamped these, I stamped this little message to myself. And then you have the quantha. I love doing the quantha stitching. And I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that right in any shape, form, or fashion. But this is something that I thought that we might do called Mindfulness Wednesday. It's to keep and this is some antique trim. Scoot it up where you guys can see it. Some antique trim, some more antique stuff, buttons, and this is off of a dress. I bought a dress at the thrift store for $1, and I cut it up and I use little bits and pieces here and there because it doesn't take much in this. And then here we have this prompt for this one was bouncing bunny. So I went and found this image and printed it on, and then I took some jelly marker things I have around here somewhere, and then I colored, I gave him some color on there, and then some of the stitches that she taught us how to do on there, and some antique lace that my uncle brought to me, and some more of those. I love doing French knots. You'll see lots of French knots in some of my later work. So, and then here is another example. This is like part of an old antique handkerchief, and I just, I cut part of it out that I wanted to use on this page, and this is part of a tie. This right here, beading. There's some beading on there, and over here as well, antique laces. And you don't have to use antique nothing. I use a lot of stuff that I go and purchase. And here, I did some beading up through here, some antique. This is an antique. It was a brooch at one time. I can't remember where I got it. My mom gave it to. I have no idea where I got this, but it's broken. But it seemed perfect to put on this page. And then over here, we have the little mushroom house. I can't remember what this prompt was. I don't remember. And, this is my water, and I got my mountains up there, and the vine, and these are antique buttons. Oh, yeah, raining. It was cloudy here. And then I have this page that I need. Let me flip it over. I need to fill in. I need to put something here and on this one and this. And then I don't know whether I'll put anything on the back, but it's not finished. It's not finished. And then the back, there's nothing on the on the back of it. So I thought this might be something that y'all might be interested in doing together. And I'll show you, I have more examples. So this is a fabric journal. And this is a fabric journal that I showed just a few minutes ago. There we go. Yeah, it is, Valerie, it is cold here too. Oh my gosh, is it cold? It is, I'm freezing to death. Let me pull this chair over here. But it hasn't been raining today. It tried to rain a little bit this morning, and it was just cloudy. It was just cloudy. So here is a piece that I was just playing. I actually stitched this on the machine, the background, and I stitched the rickrack down on the background, some antique lace down there, some antique buttons. And I did it for nothing but pure enjoyment, because if you have mind race, like I have mind race, this is a perfect way, if you're doing it by hand, to help calm your thoughts. It's a perfect way to calm the thoughts. And I crocheted these little flowers. I crocheted these little flowers, and I wanted to use them somewhere. And there's another Suffolk puff. I cannot say that for nothing. And then this is what the back of it looks like. Right there. Okay, let's see here. So, and then this is just some fabric, just stitched down. I just stitched it down, and it was just a way to... Oh, yeah, I just seen a comment pop up. And... Sorry, I was reading it. So this is just, stitching down fabric. And I love torn edges, by the way. It's just a way to calm the mind and to focus and to help focus. And that's all that it is to stop those racing thoughts. Because if we keep our hands busy, then we focus our mind and redirect our attention to something else. So, sorry, I had something on my hand. So there's a couple examples. And let's see, I do have some more. Like I said, I got into this by following Roxy's Creations. They do a lot of this, and I fell in love doing this. Okay, hold on. I'm digging it out. I'm halfway prepared. If any of you guys, some of you guys that follow my channel know me personally, and you know that I never plan nothing, ever. I wing it. I am a winging it kind of person. And yes, that's me. But I'm halfway prepared tonight. Hey, April. Hey, yeah, April, I seen your comment. Yes, and I loved it. I actually, So Simple Monday, isn't that what you suggested, was So Simple Monday or something like that? I absolutely love it. Okay, and then here is a piece that I did with one of those iron-on. I bought a whole, I don't know if you have a Hobby Lobby close to you, but back when they were doing, they're getting rid of a whole bunch of stuff, I bought a whole bunch of this that you iron on fabric and then you stitch it. And then this is one of those that I stitched. And it was the very first one I did. So I was playing around. Had a lot of fun with this. So you don't have to draw your own stuff. You could do something like that. So there's one. And then here is another one. This one I was smart and backed it with some interfacing. This one I didn't back with any interfacing, and I really needed to. But it turned out very pretty as well. So I like it. And this is eventually going to go in a quilt, I think. I'm going to make me a little wall hanging out of these. So. Oh, well, thank you, Valerie. Thank you. And thank you, April, so much for the comment. I sure do appreciate that. I do. So, and then here's another one. Here's another one of the hummingbirds in that series. I think there's like 6 or 8 different hummingbirds. So I need to finish this. I need to finish it. And then here's the ones that I have ironed on that need to be stitched. So there's those. So anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys think we want to get together once a week on Wednesdays and do a mindfulness stitching, and like we and we don't necessarily have to do the same thing. It could be whatever our hearts led to do. Like when I did this right here, I just wanted to stitch, and I just stitched. My colors don't necessarily match anything on here. I just was putting thread and fabric down, and that was it. And then here's another. This was part of Roxy's quilt along right here. This one right here. I'll pull it up where you guys can see it a little bit better. And all of these need to be, I need to put them in something. Oh, April, you can do the quilt along. Hopefully, this quilt along starting on Friday is the very first one I've ever done as far as teaching a quilt along. So, I think I give you all the direction that you need to be able to start your quilt and to put it together. But I'm here to help you with every step of the way. And if I didn't do such a great job with that one, I do have another one. I do have another one planned. Okay, so absolutely, April, we can do a Mindfulness Wednesday. And here's another example that I was doing in that stitch along. I made my water fountain, and we had to do like a water feature. I couldn't help myself. I had to add a mermaid. I couldn't help myself. But the prompt was fountain, was a water feature, and I did a fountain and the mermaid. Yes, absolutely. I don't know about you guys, Valerie, but in the middle of the week, I am to the point to, I'm not, I guess I'm kind of exhausted, but I'm in the funk, I guess. You know, it's midweek, we're almost to the weekend, and yeah, I'm ready. I need some way of redirecting my thoughts. And this is a windmill. I'm trying to get it back where you guys can see it. And I did the little windmill. I colored the flowers, made little cabbages. These are supposed to be cabbages. And these are like tomatoes and carrots. It's a garden. And then I added the little birdie with corn and little sprouts. And then just, you know, stuff to go up the side of the windmill. No, April, you don't need to sign up or anything. There is actually in one of the videos that's been posted, there's a link to a sewing guide, and there's a link to a sewing guide that'll help you with how much material that you need. And then each week on Friday at 7 p.m., there'll be a video that I have scheduled, unless I did it wrong. There's a scheduled video, but it says it's scheduled. There's a scheduled video that'll come up each week. I think it's going to last about 6 weeks. That'll take you through the project of the quilt. And you don't have to do it near as big as the one that I'm doing. You can do it whatever size that you want. Okay, being your first one, I would suggest maybe you do a little smaller quilt, and just to get your feet wet. So, and then here we go. And then this one has, I don't think you can see it, but there's lots of there's beading on here. And then this was my grass and flowers, so to speak, with beads and sequins. I love sequins. I love bling. Yeah. Time zone, central time zone. I'm in the central time zone. And then little flowers and my little tree. There we go. All right. And then here is another example of just simply putting fabric down. And I use different colored threads. I don't know if you guys can see that. I use different colored threads just to stitch the fabric down. And then on the back of it. And what I have got to where I use for the back of my stitching projects like this. Oh, thank you, April. Thank you. I have so many projects planned for us. I'm already designing more quilt-alongs because I have a problem when it comes to quilting. I think I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to quilting. So for the hand stitching project, what I like to use is I go to the thrift store and I find these receiving blankets that you can find in the baby section. They're 100% flannel, and they provide an excellent base for hand stitching projects like the one I just showed you. And here where I live in Arkansas, I can get 3 to 4 of these in a little bundle. They come in a bundle for $1.99. And there's a lot of fabric here for $1.99. So, so you don't really need, okay, Valerie. Okay, and the supplies for hand stitching is fabric scraps. I have a big bucket. I don't know how to make this thing go out, just like zoom out. I don't know how to make it go out. So you can use, if you're a quilter and you have batting scraps, use your batting scraps for your foundation for our hand stitching, okay? So, or you can go to the thrift store. Sorry, I'm reading comments, guys. So, or you can go to the thrift store. You don't have to buy anything. If you already sew, you probably have everything that you need on hand right now. If you're a quilter, you already have batting scraps. Just get you some scraps and cut them to whatever size that you want them to be. I'm probably going to use this as the base for our stitching. And then you're going to need scraps. And then you're going to need fabric scraps. They don't need to be very big. They can be small. They can even be smaller than this. You've seen some of the little bitty scraps that I used. And then you need needle and thread. And you can use yarns if you want to. Don't limit yourself. Let your imagination run wild. If you crochet or you knit, think about those little scraps of yarn that you have. My daughter gives me, but she crochets. She gives me these baggies of yarn. It's the ends that she can't use anymore. So I incorporate a lot of that kind of stuff into my hand stitching projects. And you can do something as simple as this, or something as extravagant as this right here. It's totally up to you guys how extravagant you want to make it. And do you want prompts each week? Do we want to actually work with the theme? Or do you just want to sit down and we just stitch together and that's it? Yes, Valerie, there are two projects. There's the quilt along that's starting this Friday. It is called Merry and Bright Stars or Grayson Stars. I'm going to scoot y'all just a little bit. There we go. Hopefully I didn't make you drunk. And let me see if I can swing the camera up. Maybe that, oh, I know what would help, I think. So it would give you guys just a little bit. I think I just pulled the wrong one. Give me a second. Let me see here. Let me see if I can raise you guys up just a little bit. I don't know if that'll help or not. I think I just got you too close is the problem. There we go. That's a little better. So yeah, there are two projects going on. There's the Merry and Bright Quilt Along that's on Fridays at 7 p.m. Those are pre-recorded videos. They're not live. The only lives that I'll be doing is Mondays, which is the Sew Simple Mondays. And then Wednesday, we're going to do Mindfulness Wednesday, which would be a project like this. Or we could each work on our own kind of project. This is one of those diamond art things that I started and have never finished. So, or we could just have our own little projects that we're working on. You know, it's just kind of up to you guys. What do y'all want to do? So anyway, so that's about all that you need to get started on slow stitching. And I can show you a little bit more. Let me close this box up before I dump it everywhere, because that's gonna happen. And let me pull my cart over here. So this is some thread. This goes on my long arm quilter, and I've had this spool of thread for years. So I just brought it in here and I use it to tack my fabric down to my foundation piecing. And then I have all of my needles in here. I guess one of the first things we need to make is a needle book. And I have this little needle book that I got from the Fat Quarter Shop in my Sew Sampler box, and it has different needles in here. I couldn't tell you what kind of needles these are because I wasn't smart enough to label them when I put them in here. So I just grab a needle that I think will work for the project that I'm needing to do, and I just use that needle because I have no idea what these needles are. But I do have a needle book, and you'll of course need scissors. You might need a thimble. I do highly suggest, let me find it. I'm pretty sure it's in here, or is it up on the desk somewhere? I don't see it. Here's some more thread that I have, and this is hand quilter's thread. It's going to be a lot thicker than this thread, and I like to use it for maybe the Kawantha stitching, but not for stitching my base fabrics down to my backing. I don't particularly want to use that. So I am looking. I don't see it in here. Maybe. Oh, I found it. Found it. But this is, and then I was going to show you Milner's needles, which I have 2 packs of these because I couldn't find these, so I bought another pack. Have y'all ever done that? Oh, yeah. Valerie, if you have little bitty scraps that you can't use in a quilt, this kind of stuff is absolutely perfect for this. And I'm like, I go through my scraps every so often and I just give them away. And if they're tiny, tiny, I know I'm throwing them in the trash. Please forgive me, fabric gods. Y'all know what I'm saying. So anyway, Milner's needles are fabulous for making French knots because the eye of the needle is the same as the shaft of the needle. And when I show you how to make those French knots, you'll see why that's important. So Milner's needles, if you don't have any of those, that would be a really good thing to purchase. But other than that, just your basic needles. You could use quilting betweens. They're shorter needles, but they'll work perfect for attaching our base fabric to our base. There we go, I'll get that. But the only thing that I do recommend that you guys purchase that you are going to find absolutely fabulous is a little thing of beeswax or thread conditioner. I like using beeswax. It helps to prevent your thread from tangling. And this one, it came in, I get the Sew Sampler box from Fat Quarter Shop, so I get a lot of supplies in that box. And this actually came in that box. And I also have some thread conditioner, but I don't think I have it in here. Because I prefer the beeswax, honestly. I prefer the beeswax. So this, if you do any kind of hand sewing at all and you struggle with tangled threads and it wads up, try use some beeswax. Just run your thread through it and see how much better it works. Yay, April! Yay! I understand. I get way too many projects going on. I really do. I end up with way too many projects going on. I don't sew with a thimble a lot, but I keep one in my little bag here. A very dear friend of mine made me this, and I keep all of my stitching stuff down in there. I love her to death. I haven't talked to her in quite a while, but she's one of those friends that you might not talk to in a while, and then you can start talking to one another, and it's like you never missed a beat. So, yes. All right. And if you want to, only if you want to, beads, I go to the Dollar Tree and I buy these little cups at the Dollar Tree and I pour my beads over in there. This is just, an example. And then I keep it makes it easier to get them out. So I have all kinds of beads. Well, not all kinds, but I have, different kinds. I also have sequins. I have gold, silver, some purples. Because like I said, I've done this hand stitching stuff for a while. And I don't know if y'all can see down in there. They're kind of reds and pinks they're all mixed up. Because at the time, I wasn't very organized and dumped them in there and I'm not going through them. Oh gosh. So, and then just some more random beads. But these make excellent little containers. You get them at the Dollar Tree. They're a box of 10 or 8 or 10 or something like that for $1.25. So they make excellent. And I use, me and my mom used to be these big, huge cross stitchers. You remember when cross stitch was a thing? So we have tons and tons of this thread. Tons of this thread. This is one box and I have 7 boxes full of thread. And Mom said she still has boxes over at her house full of thread. So if you want to use some of these threads, absolutely feel free. You can. I don't want you to have to go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff to do a project. I know money's tight. Money's tight, and I just that's just how I am. I just don't want you to have to go spend a lot of money. And then I have this is just serger thread that you can use it for darker fabrics. So, you can get really cheap, and you can pick threads up at the thrift store, by the way, too. I'm a big thrift shopper, y'all. Big, huge thrift shopper. Oh, April. Yeah. All right. I so enjoyed you joining, April. Have a wonderful night and be careful out there. Hey, Carrie. Hello. All right, guys. So, anyway, that's my idea, and y'all seem very, very interested in doing a So Mindful Wednesday stitch along. It's hand stitching, and we'll be learning how to hand stitch. And I'm trying to decide if I'm just going to use this whole thing. It's pretty good size, and make a wall hanging out of it. And what I would do is I would just start with a scrap of fabric, maybe not that one. Oh, I like this. I think this is a Lori Holt fabric, honestly. And maybe I would lay this scrap. I would like to leave me about a half an inch or so that I could bind this quilt, and then I'm just going to stitch my fabric down. That's all I'm going to do is place my background fabric on there, stitch it down, choose the next fabric. It doesn't have to match. It can be anything that you want it to be. And I'm thinking that if I want this to be a wall hanging, you're going to want to overlap your fabrics just a little bit. And they don't have to be straight. That's the one good thing about this, is that we have to be so structured and rigid in our quilting because everything has to match. But in this slow stitching, no, it doesn't have to match. You can use irregular shapes. You can use odd stuff. And I'm thinking I'm going to make this a wall hanging. So I want grass to be down along this bottom edge. And I kind of like where I'm going with this, and I'm probably going to pin it down and stitch it down next week. And this is something that you can work on even when we're not stitching together. So feel free. Don't think that you have to wait till Wednesday for us to stitch. You don't have to wait till Wednesday. If you feel like stitching, absolutely. All right, Valerie. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, yes. You will not regret buying some beeswax. It is fantastic. And I do long arm too. I have a mid arm. I have a Moxie machine, Moxie and Loft frames. So there's a seam right here. That's going to be hard to I love tearing fabric, and that's not going to tear right there. Let me see. There we go. I love tearing fabric. There's something so satisfying about tearing fabric. And I'm going to cut that right there off. And so you're just going to make sure and overlap your fabrics just a little bit. And there we go. Throw that over. You do create more scraps. But I kind of like with the direction that I'm going with this. So guys, that's about it. And then I take some pins. And would you know I ain't got a single pin in here? Where are my pins? Pins, oh, little pins. Where did they go? I have a few right here, and I have these. I don't want to do with my pins. I have no idea what to do with them. But this isn't enough. So, and another thing I like to do is the Sue Daily glue, you can absolutely glue this down and then stitch it. Absolutely. I'll have to find my pins. I don't know what I did with my little glass head pins. So just pop a few pins once you kind of get what you want. And I really love, ooh, sorry. And I'm pinning it. You can't see it because it's off to the side. I'm just going to pin it down. Okay, and I got that and that. So yeah, I think I'm going to just use this whole thing and make a wall hanging out of it. And I'm going to try and leave about this much space along the bottom. If it's not even, trust me, it's okay. It'll be okay. But I like where I'm going with it. Oh, here we go. So this, you know, back when masks were a thing, and I've been doing some hexies. So this is what was left when I did the hexie. So this is not quite the green as the other greens, but let's, and I think, that I'm just trying to keep y'all where you can see. I think I might put this green right in through here. And overlap that. And it would help if I pressed. I do try, if it's very, very wrinkly, I do press. Trust me, it makes it much easier if it's pressed. And I'm going to move that out of the way. Okay, so there we go. I kind of got my grass started, and like these ittle bitty pieces like this, you can use these. You can use these in this. You can use them to add interest into your piece. So I even save little bitty pieces. I know it's ridiculous. I know. This green right here is some of my favorite fabric, and all I have left are these little bitty T90 pieces. But it's some of my favorite. And I think I'm gonna add, and I don't know where I got it from. I have no idea where I got it. Grayson's fixing to dive bomb the... If you watched any of my other videos, y'all know Grayson, he's the king. Really, dude? Hey, what? Sorry. Oh, gosh. Hey, you're knocking stuff down, Buster. Do any of y'all have cats? Are they, hey, quit it. He gets into everything, and he's going to see it. You're sitting on a pen there, buddy. You're sitting on the pens. Okay, so there we go. I've started my grass, my foundation where I want it to be, and I will meet you guys back here next Wednesday. I may have some of this stitched down by then. We'll see how it goes. And here he goes. There he goes. Y'all got to see Grayson live and in person. So there we go. So be thinking about what you want to make, how you want to make it. If you want prompts, if you guys want to do, if we want to do a prompt, I love anything garden and flowers. So y'all drop comments below, because I do keep a check on all the comments, and I think I'm going to add, whoops, I just made a huge mess. Look at this pretty piece. Look at that. I may have to add that in there. I'll have to cut a little bit off of it because it's going to be too long. But I may add just a little bit of that in there. We'll see. So y'all let me know if we just want to stitch how we want, we just start, you just start and do your own thing, or if we want to do prompts, or what y'all want to do. And Mindfulness Wednesday will kick off next Wednesday, which is, what is next Wednesday's date? Anybody got a clue? Anybody have a clue? Let's see here. I'm getting the iPad. I'm working on it. Let me see here. Can't put in the password right. Here we go. Let's see, y'all. Next Wednesday is the 10th. January the 10th. So if you're interested, next Wednesday, 6 p.m., we will kick off Mindfulness Wednesday, and we're going to do some hand stitching. We're going to keep our hands busy, our minds occupied, and it is relaxing. And let your creativity flow. Just don't try and think about how you put things down. Just be creative with it and let your creativity go. All right, guys, I'm signing off for tonight, and let me know what y'all think about this. And there's a Grace in here, believe it or not. Just let me know what you think, and I will see you Monday for It's So Simple Monday. And yeah, we're going to be sewing something on Monday. Yeah, I'm going to be sewing something. If you watch my live that I did last night talking about starting a So Simple Monday, it'll be lives. It'll be a live video with sewing on Mondays. I talked about maybe 2 different projects that I would like to do. So yeah, if y'all would like to join me, I'll post. I'll do a video and post a link for or the information that you need. So anyway, enjoy the rest of your week. Remember, the Quilt-a-thon kicks off Friday, January the 5th, 7 p.m. Central Time. And there is a link to the sewing guide and some of my other videos. You can go download that for free from Dropbox. And that's it. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your week. Enjoy your week. Many blessings to each and every one of you. And I love you all. And bye for now.